Okay, number 14. Again, the suggestion here is to make a substitution. Let me go through that with you. In both of the equations, by the way. So if you substitute in the first equation, you'll get this. And if you simplify that, you'll get this. If you substitute in the second equation, you'll get this. And if you simplify that, it's going to be work, a lot of work, by the way. You'll eventually get to this statement over here. All right, you'll eventually get there. Now, someone says that's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. For one thing, you're going to have to recognize that this is going to be used up here. And you got to plug it in. You got to square both sides twice. Trouble being is this, and I did make a mistake in the key, by the way, and I'll tell you why I made a mistake. There's a couple of mistakes, but I have to correct the key, by the way. You're not going to see this, though. So I'm going to claim that if u is equal to 72, if u is equal to 72, I have trouble. All right, and I want to tell you what the troubles are. The troubles come in the equation that I'm solving for, and I want to let's just pick one at random. Let's pick this guy over here and tell you why it's trouble. All right, so what are you going to get? You can get 169, and 72 times 2 is going to be 144. Minus the square root of 144. And they say that's equal to 7. All right? And what do you get there? What's 144? Well, gee, that's what? That's going to be, I got to be careful here, don't I? 169 minus 144, that's 25, isn't it? And this is going to be 144, and that's 7. That's 5 minus 12, and 5 minus 12 is not 7. So this one over here, and I want to cross this out. It's extraneous. All right, I got to correct the answer key though. This needs not possible. It needs to be corrected. All right. The problem with squaring root equations is they can be really tricky. All right. Let me try the other one. That's 25 halves. It's really not that bad to do. Let's plug it in. And sometimes we're going to plug it in. I think right over here. Whoops, not over there. Right over here. Let me get my eraser out. And erase that there. We'll get V later, don't worry. What do you get there? And this is the problem with these. It's an endless amount of checking to make sure you didn't do something crazy. So you're going to get, let's see, you're going to get 169 minus 25, which is 144, minus the root of 25, and they say that's equal to 7. Well, 12 minus 5 is equal to 7, so this works out beautifully. All right, made another error. Let me cross this out. And someone says, what do you mean an error? It doesn't look right to me. Well, that's why you need to, look at a key carefully. And let's try to figure out so we can get V. And I'll plug it in for you. And I'll plug it in here. And what do you get? 25 over 2 squared minus V squared equals 169 minus, well, 2 times 25 over 2 is just 25, right? So what do you give there? Let's see, 25 over 2 squared. Don't be alarmed. Whoops, sorry about that. Minus V squared. And 169 minus 25 is 144. I'm just going to rewrite this a little differently. 25 over 2 squared minus 144, and that equals V squared, all right? And someone said, how are you going to do that arithmetic? Well, I'm going to use calculator, actually, but I want to point out, I don't need to use calculator. You could do the arithmetic on that if you want. I'm just going to use the calculator on it. And what do you get? Let's see, 25 squared divided by 4 minus 144. And what do you get there? You get 49 quarters. So V squared is 49 quarters. So what does that mean? V is plus or minus 7 halves, all right? So this should read not U, but it should read V, all right? So, if you know U and V, what you have to do is add them together, all right? So I want to point out U is 25 halves, and V has 2 possibilities. Let me put down the 7 halves first. And what's X going to be? It's going to be the addition of those two, which is 32 halves, and 32 halves is going to be 16. What's the y going to be for those two numbers? Well, it's going to be u minus v, 25 minus 7, 18 halves, which would be 9. That's where this is coming from. Now let's say you did the other one, which is u equals 25 halves, and v is minus 7 halves. Well, what's x? It's the addition of those two. That's going to be 18 halves, which is 9. And what's the y going to be? It's going to be u minus v. Well, u minus v is going to be 32 halves, which is going to be 16. And that's 9 comma 16, all right? I need to correct the key, though, all right? And I'll do that shortly. Thank you.